Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Double Falsehood, and today we get to hear from Don Bernard in Act 1, Scene 2. So Don Bernard is the father to Leonora, who Julio is in love with. But if you remember, Julio has been told that he has to go to court by the Duke in the place of Enriquez, who the Duke can't get to come home, but Julio is supposed to go and bring money to buy a horse, or collect money to buy a horse, or something along those lines. And Julio's father, Camillo, was very confused by this, because he's like, I didn't think my son was a horseman, but okay, I guess he's really good with horsemanship and has to go to court. So there was some back and forth at the beginning of this scene between Julio and Camillo, Camillo being of the mind that, yes, the Duke said you need to come to court, and Julio being of the mind of, oh, but I'm in love with Leonora, who is here, and I don't want to leave her. So once that gets settled, and Camillo's like, yes, you're going to court, and I'm going to go get you all of this stuff that you're going to need at court, because I don't want you to show up looking unprepared. He's gone off to do that, and Julio let us know that Leonora so far has been kind of lukewarm about their relationship. She's not protesting anything. She consents. She's just not really super jazzed about it. And then we get to see that for ourselves because she enters and the two of them have a little bit of back and forth. She's like, did you talk to your dad yet? And he's like, I haven't yet. And she's like, this is ridiculous that I have to woo like both you and your dad. This really isn't worth all the trouble. So he's like, all right, well then I guess I have to go to court like the Duke says, at which point she perks up and becomes jealous and is like, oh, if you're going to court, like, promise me that you'll wait for me, because how do I know that you're not going to fall in love with somebody else while you're there? All of that sort of stuff. So they both promise that they will love each other, him genuinely because he's in love with her to begin with, her out of fear or jealousy, something along those lines, because he's going to go off to somewhere where there's lots of other women. And just as they are coming to some sort of reconciliation, I guess, maybe there'd be a little bit of physical intimacy here, and by that I mean like hugging, maybe a kiss, something like that. Her dad walks in, Don Bernard, and he's like, what are you doing? You're in public. That's completely inappropriate. And Julio's like, no, we're saying farewell, and I would never be inappropriate. And and Don Bernard gives this speech about, the thrill is in the chase, and stay on the straight path, all that kind of stuff. And Julio's like, yes, I know, I have to get to court, and I'll have an answer from my father very soon as to whether or not he consents to my trying to marry Leonora. And with that, he goes off to get ready to go to court, at which point Don Bernard turns to his daughter and says, his father is as unsettled as he is wayward in his disposition. If I thought young Julio's temper were not mended by the metal of his mother, I should be something crazy in giving my consent to this match. And, to tell you true, if my eyes might be the directors to your mind, I could in this town look upon 20 men of more delicate choice. I speak not this altogether to unbend your affections to him, but the meaning of what I say is that you set such price upon yourself to him as many and much his betters would buy you at, and reckon those virtues in you at the rate of their scarcity, to which if he come not up, you remain for a better mart. So what Don Bernard is saying is he doesn't trust Camillo. He doesn't really trust Camillo, nor does he trust Julio. He thinks that Camillo is sort of off his rocker and a little bit nuts. And he's like, at least Julio has a little bit of his mother's temperament in him. Otherwise, I would be bonkers to approve of this match between the two of you. He's like, honey, you could do so much better than this. You are worth so much more than him. And Leonora, who might have had a different answer at the beginning of the scene than she does now, but she responds, no, Daddy, really, I love him and I want to be with him. I like him better than all of the others. And Don Bernard is like, okay, fine. Like, I don't really have a stake in the game. I'm not going to stand in your way if you want to marry him. I'm not going to get all bent out of shape if you don't marry him. All I'm going to say is that we need Camillo's blessing on this marriage before it goes ahead. And she's like, I agree, that's cool. We should know something by later because he's going to be talking to his dad. And Don Bernard's like, great, let's go on home. And that's the end of Act 1, Scene 2. So I feel like this is maybe setting us up for some sort of love triangle with this all going on, and then him going to go somewhere else and her potentially being preemptively jealous of it. Sounds maybe, I don't know, a little bit like Two Gentlemen of Verona, but hey, we get to see where this play goes by itself. If it goes in the same direction as that one, if it goes somewhere else entirely, we'll get to find out. We got plenty of play left to go. So I will see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.